sunny ways, my friends, sunny ways.
You sneaky, you're running as an outsider.
I am an outsider.
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of water out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles. So that.
Well, the frickin' God!
You're ready to fight, aren't you? I can feel
I intend to resign as party leader, as prime minister.
Is this true?
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Mr. Prime Minister, will there always be a Canada?
There will always be a Canada.
All right, elbows up.
Elbows up.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
So the answer to that is to stop being stupid.
My great pleasure to introduce my husband, the Prime Minister who will make Canada strong. And Canada for!
I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Thank you. It will be an honor to continue to fight for you and to be a champion of your cause as we go forward.
Let's fucking go.
Knock it!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. Welcome to Friday Night Fringe here on the channel. Boy, it's good to have you guys here. It's been a long week. I hope you guys had a great week. I hope everything's well with all of you. A little different tonight. I noticed a little bit different. Mrs. Fringe joining us once again. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You know, you sound good. You know why? Because we're both on microphones tonight. No shared microphone, folks. I hope you can hear us loud and clear. This is new and experimental. We decided to go wireless tonight because we thought, hey, you know what? I'm sick and tired of sharing microphones. You guys deserve
you don't
good
like me
quality
cuddling
show.
Up next to you is really the problem.
I don't mind Mrs. Fringe sitting next to me, but I only share so much. Guys, it says you're both muted. Oh, it's just trolling. There we go. It says you sound good. I always hate it when people try to troll like that. Or people say, I didn't know. Why? What is it? Get rid of that intro. Wait, do you guys really want us to get rid of the intro? Are we already into the trolls tonight, guys? Come on.
You know you're doing good when.
You know you're hitting all the buttons. Here we go. Here we go. Let's we got a lot to discuss tonight. We got a lot going on. Yes, it's true. We are safe for the time being. I'm going to get into that tonight, but first, let's get a good old-fashioned roll call going on. Make sure to chime in. Let me know where you're watching from. If it's your first time here,
let us
know. We want to know about new viewers here, as well as our long-term viewers.
Yes.
I'll try to get to everybody I can. First, let's get to some honorable mentions. Smokeless Choice, the $5 Super Chat. In my opinion, Carney is an illegitimate prime minister, just as his cabinet are all illegitimate politicians and an existential threat to this country.
Yeah.
I agree. The Smokeless Choice with another $5 Super Chat. Isn't it interesting how Canada is turning more and more into a country of the very system that our soldiers fought so hard against in past wars? Yeah. I agree. Thank you. Jancor gifted one unacceptable Fringe membership to the Patriots Club. Welcome to our new Patriots Club member. Pole Pinkish Humanoid, Pale, not Pole, Pale Pinkish Humanoid, $11 Super Chat. I'm afraid we are screwed by the undrip. What do you think? I'll get into that tonight. Welcome into the stream. Let's get everybody in that we can. We've got Pale Pinkish Humanoid, of course, joining us from Calgary. Kelly Price coming in from White Rock, BC. Welcome in. We've got Blondie coming in from Calgary, Alberta. Rob K coming in from Fort Capel, Saskatchewan with the LFGs. Just me saying, keep up the great work. Thank you. You keep up the great work by being here and watching us. We love having you guys here. Jamie coming in from Montana. Welcome in. We've got SG80, first time here, but definitely watch your videos. Let's go. Welcome.
Sweet.
To the live streams. Welcome to the Fringe. Great to have you here. We've got Andrew Smith coming in from Swan River, Manitoba. What is this? Liz, just thought you should know Canada signed the 1973 International Convention. I'm not sure what that means, but thank you for letting me know, I guess. Janet coming in from Belleville, Ontario. Welcome in. We've got Farm Girl coming in from Prince Edward Island. We have Dean, who's a newbie here. Welcome in, Dean. Good to have you here. Melanie coming in from Niagara Falls. Adam saying the intro rocks. The sign in the new studio is awesome. I don't know if you guys know this. Mike Freedom Honey made this sign, and it is glorious. Love it. Luca joining us from Burnaby, BC. It's good to see you as well. Welcome in. Joe from Ontario. Tom's coming in. Good vibes here as usual. I call Victoria home. Welcome in. Good to have you here. We've got Steve coming in with the g'day.
Love it.
You doing good from Ontario? Welcome in. Good to have you in here. We've got, is that Kaysen coming in from Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. We have Awakened coming in from Port Hope, Ontario. Goldwing Ben joining us once again from Fremont, Quebec with the LFGs. Tammy joining us from Strathmore, Alberta. Greg coming in from Merrifield, Saskatchewan. We got Scotia Mans coming in from Halifax, Nova Scotia as well. Chris is joining us from Edmonton. Welcome into everybody. Don Arsenal coming in from Canmore. Thomas saying wieners up. Well, maybe for some. Nana Nora coming in from Medicine Hat. Marika joining us once again from Montreal. She says it's woke.
The woke city.
Never been to Montreal, so I'm not sure. But welcome into the stream. Great to have you either way. MEDW coming in from Sealy's Bay. We've got Kat Hewitt coming in from Connaught, Ontario. We've got the Canadian Warrior coming in from Lethbridge. We've got Dan coming in from Ontario. Welcome in. Jay Peterson coming in from Spruce Grove as well. I've never heard of Spruce Grove. Have you?
No.
No? Welcome in. We're just kidding. It's good to have you here. Heather coming in. What is undrip? Or is
U-drip.
U-drip. We're going to get into updrip. Hold on to your seats, folks. A few more honorable mentions throughout the roll call. Dimebag Coins, member for 1 month. Please tell me when the next meetup is. I will let you know as soon as I can. We will be organizing them maybe during the summer at some point. We'll do one, but stay tuned. That'll be up in the future. We have Disgusted Canadian, $5 super chat. Now I'm hearing Marco Mendicino, Bernardo and Magnata's BFF, might be putting his name in to be the mayor of Toronto. I sure hope not. He pulled out. He pulled out of Carney's cabinet. I would say that's one part where we're safe, but hey, we're not. It's better than you think, folks. It's going to be better than you think. I got to get on with the stream tonight. Somebody saying Trump just orders more nuclear power plants, invest in uranium and nuclear power. It's true. Donald Trump, he's going to invest in nuclear power. He doesn't live in Uganda, so he's going to make sure they're getting lots of nuclear energy. This is what happens when Canada goes against President Trump. We tried to play ball.
Yep.
Or war, I should say. Trump didn't want to play war. This is the result. Canada loses billions in revenue for energy. Trump's going to go nuclear. It's we got a lot to talk about tonight. First, I have to mention that Jenny G became a new member of the Patriots Club. Welcome to the Patriots Club. Welcome to everybody. A few business things to get out of the way. First off, I got to mention we have somebody new working with Unacceptable Fringe in the background. A good friend of mine, Alex, is going to be working for Unacceptable Fringe. Of course, Alex had to slip up this week with a video.
Oh,
we accidentally posted the same video.
Same video twice.
2 days in a row with a different thumbnail. So a lot of people thought that a video got canceled this week. My apologies, ladies and gents. No video was canceled. Alex had to screw up. First day on the job.
Everybody's allowed one.
But I did have to mention Alex because some things are changing around Unacceptable Fringe. Many of you know that we have an email attached to the channel, and I can't tell you how grateful I am through all of the emails that come through, all the people who respond, all the people who send good vibes, long stories about who they are, where they've come from, watching this channel.
I love it. All the support that comes through.
It's absolutely fabulous.
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, I've run into a small problem as this channel has grown. Keep in mind that amongst doing live streams, I'm also researching video topics. I'm filming videos. I have 3 kids that I help Mrs. Fringe raise on the side. If I were to go through all of those emails, well, I'm simply just going to be tied up all day long. In fact, you've pointed out a few times, hey, you're stuck on the phone, put it down, get it down. Alex has been hired to go through those emails, respond to those emails. One of the biggest problems, and again, I don't want this to come off as ungrateful for the emails that have come through. However, I get on average between 100 to 150 emails a day right now. And the biggest problem of that is that sponsors reach out to that email address through YouTube links. Anybody who wants to try and contact me about a sponsorship possibility, anybody who wants to maybe come on the show and talk to us.
So just helps have somebody else.
I'm missing those emails. I'm not getting to them all because I'm weeding through a bunch a day. Yeah. So Alex will be responding to emails. What this means, folks, is please feel free to continue sending the emails. From time to time, I will be in there to check.
Yes.
But what I've noticed is that even those I can't reply to, I sometimes get nasty emails back where people say, hey, the least you could have done was replied to me. I'm only one guy,
and
folks.
You really do try to get back to everybody.
I do try. But in order to keep things moving smoothly on the channel as it grows, I did have to hire outside help. So unfortunately, I will not be checking those emails all day, every day. So if you send an email, just know at some point in time, I will get to it. I just am not able to reply to them all. And if you do hear back from Alex, then again, he'll make sure your emails are passed on.
Yes.
So again, I thank everybody. This isn't me telling you not to do it.
No, please.
Please, by all means, continue. It's just, I have to step away. It's getting way too busy. And way too difficult to keep up with everybody. But this way, it's out here so that everybody knows if I don't reply to your emails, it's not because I don't care. It's not because I'm snubbing you. It's that I'm really not in charge of them anymore. Less power, less responsibility.
Yes.
That's how it goes. Construction Cronies, $10 super chat. Alberta is Canada, the last frontier. Well, is this Bluefinland is promising? It's sad the West voice is so weak while all the loons of Ontario and Quebec seem to decide everything for us. See, you guys hear that? My phone's already going off during the live stream. I thought I had it on silent. My apologies. Nilok, $2 super chat. The app or the APP jumped the gun today. 120 days started. We're going to talk about the Alberta Prosperity Project tonight. I have a few things to talk about.
Today already?
It was a last minute announcement. I was just told before the stream started. We'll get into that. Smokeless Choice, $5 super chat. Your channel's my favorite one on political content. Pushes all the right buttons. Great set, great content, great formula. Don't change a thing.
Perfect.
Smokeless Choice, thank you. Again, you guys are fantastic.
Yes, best community.
Best community on the platform. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Construction Crony says Alberta is one of the most patriotic Canadians I've ever met and known. It's the East Toronto and Quebec that are the real separatists. They all are all full weirdos. Yes, absolutely.
Not totally. They've got some good people too, but yeah.
What are we doing here?
We need to bring on the memes.
Do we need to bring on the memes?
We do need to bring on the memes.
Isn't that what you guys are all here for?
Yes.
We're all here for the memes. Nobody wants to come listen to Fringe talk. Nobody wants to see what I have to say. Let's get on to the memes, shall we? Let's take a look here. Here's one that's been making its rounds on the interwebs. Mrs. Fringe sent me this. Many people tagged me in this one on Twitter this week.
I wasn't the only one.
And had it out. Liberal voters, you were so well played. Of course, everybody laughing in Parliament at the good old elbows up community. They've been had.
Yeah.
We talked about this today in terms of Mark Carney. Well, he said he was going to handle Donald Trump. He said that he was going to make sure that he goes dollar for dollar on the tariffs, also while quietly reducing those throughout the election that nobody was aware of, very silently reported on. And then all of a sudden he goes to see Donald Trump. He gets his ass fed to him. We got a lot more to do with Donald Trump and Carney tonight as the memes go on. Let's go. I love this one. Give me a minute. I'm pretending to be Donald Trump.
I love this one.
If you guys missed it this week, Mark Carney was doing his old executive orders again. And this is what I find funny. Not only does Mark Carney steal from everybody, but isn't it hilarious that he spent his whole campaign telling everybody, I'm gonna fight Donald. Nobody likes Donald Trump.
Trump is evil. I'm gonna save you.
Orange man bad, and then all of a sudden he emulates him and does everything the way he did. We don't sign executive orders in Canada.
No,
this isn't how things are done. But he has to put on the horse and pony show, right? Isn't that hilarious? Mark Nixon. Oh wait, we're gonna get to that. That's our story. Now these memes, we have nothing left but video memes, folks. The video memes are a little funny. We need to get to them. Well, they're not political. I thought they were hilarious, and we had to share those. Let's go.
These beautiful things that I've got, please
Now I do have to mute that because it is copyright music. I don't want to get struck on that one.
Oh,
but
no.
That's a gooder. I like that one. That's a good one. This one, Mr. Comey. I don't know if you guys watch Comey's appearances anymore. He had an appearance on Stephen Colbert. Now, if you guys haven't seen this, boy, buckle up. This is going to be a good one, folks. Talks a little bit about when Trump kicked him out of office and what he's been up to lately. Let's take a listen.
So let me get this straight. You were walking on the beach with your boyfriend,
Yes.
and you found this big cucumber sticking out of the sand.
That's correct.
Okay, but how did it end up halfway up your ass? I mean, did you pick it up and stick it up your ass, or did your boyfriend help with that? Like, how did it happen?
It's a funny story, actually. We were walking down the beach, and all of a sudden my boyfriend says, "Look, there seems to be a giant cucumber sticking out of the sand." So I just went over to check it out, and I was wearing flip-flops, so I tripped, and I literally landed right on top of it with my ass, Steve. So I told my boyfriend, should we go back home and try put some baby oil on it? And my boyfriend was like, that sounds like fun, honey. And I said, nah, man, it's stuck up my ass. This is serious.
So he wanted to rub some baby oil on it and push it further or something, kind of like a Diddy party.
Yeah, he got excited and shit. So anyway, we just went back home. We put some baby oil on it and finally got it out. And to be honest, it still hurts a little bit, but not as much as the day Trump shit canned me. That one really hurt. I'm still butthurt from it. That's why I posted the seashells thingy on Instagram.
I mean,
oh my word. Oh my word.
Yeah, I try not to post too much crass stuff on the channel, but I mean, come on. It's just so hilarious. This is why I love AI. People say AI is dangerous. As long as this is as far as we go with it, I'm okay with AI.
Oh, it's going to get
I'm okay with it. The comedy is what we're here for, right? So who cares? Let's
if
have
you
some
laugh,
fun
you
with it.
win.
If we'll get off of the we'll get out there. The mystical saying, I just died of laughter. There, good. At least somebody's having fun. I'm sure I'll get lots of emails when this is over. People saying, Fringe, you're so inappropriate. I can't watch you anymore. Let's go. We'll get on to some more lightly humored stuff.
Yes.
Still Donald Trump though. Have you guys seen these ones going around?
The baby ones.
The baby memes.
I've seen them in Friends. It makes me
Let's
laugh.
take a look at the baby memes. Good old Donald. He's making sure you guys know all about the woke here. Let's take a listen.
Do you think that General Patton was woke? I don't think so. What do you think, Mike? Mike, was he woke? I don't think so. I don't think he was too woke. He was the exact opposite. You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Everything woke. Everything woke. It's true. Everything woke turns to shit, okay? It's true. It's true. Look at what's happening.
Good old baby Trump.
I love it.
I love baby Trump.
Oh, it's so cute.
It's like, if you ever need a laugh, if you want your day to get better, even if you hate Donald Trump,
it's the cheeks.
It's the babies, the babies that just make it better. In fact, take a look at this one. Take more babies.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. It's a shame.
Your 4-year-old still runs around and says that.
My 4-year-old Steve still runs around the house yelling, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. And they're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Save the pets. There we go.
The videos are just hilarious, but we do have to get to some honorable mentions. You guys like walking, don't you? How you guys always talking about Cowbell. In fact, I think we could all use a little bit more tonight. Here we go.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
How? More cowbell. Well, guys, good old OAO sent me this meme.
Oh, no.
While it's not politically motivated, it definitely gets the story across
That's
about
so creepy.
never give up, never surrender. Here we go.
2 little mice fell in a bucket of cream. The first mouse quickly gave up and drowned. The second mouse wouldn't quit. He struggled so hard that eventually he churned that cream into butter and crawled out. Gentlemen, as of this moment, I am that second mouse.
It's the dance for me.
He turned it into cream. Gentlemen, I am that second mouse. It's great. It's crazy. Good old walking. Good old walking. We're going to get to some news, but before we do, I do have to talk about Donald Trump. I know you guys don't like Trump. Give me 1 second.
I like
here.
your Trump.
You guys like my Donald Trump?
You were doing it in the car today.
I was doing a little bit of Donald. I called my father. I wanted to cheer him up a little. I said, Dad, you can't be down. You got to listen to good old Donald. I'm going to coach you through this. I know a lot of people who give good advice, but I only give the best advice, believe me. Donald Trump, one final meme, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump coming out this week talking about Pride Month. I don't know if you guys know this. June is the month in which Pride crams its liberal agendas down your throat. There's going to be no Pride Month in the United States. Donald Trump coming out to talk about Pride Month. Let's take a listen. What does Donald have to say about Pride? Here we go.
My fellow Americans, it is with great pleasure that I am announcing that Pride Month is canceled. Pride is a sin, and we will no longer participate in deliberate moral inversions. Instead, June will be known as Confidence Month, or maybe just June. Who knows? In either case, it'll be a time for us to celebrate legitimate achievements worthy of reflection. I hate to break it to some people, but putting a wiener in a butt shouldn't be on anyone's highlight reel. Very unhygienic. Love is love. That's what they say. However, poop is poop, folks. Poop is poop.
I do have to say, when Derek showed me this, I honestly thought it was real. I was like, that's AI, right? Like, that's AI.
Love is love, ladies and gentlemen, but poop is poop, okay?
Not
poop,
real.
Poop is poop. Listen, nothing against the gay community, but
absolutely not.
It was just hilarious. When he says poop is poop, I said we have to show this.
Yes.
There's no getting around it. Mrs. Fringe, you used to go through hilarious articles when we did the memes. I'm doing a little extended memes for you guys tonight. I hope you guys are enjoying that. I hope you guys are having a good time so far. I do have to get to some honorable mentions. And Mrs. Fringe is going to get into a fun, politically driven
you're making
story.
me read now.
Because, well, you've got a microphone now, so you're totally going to do it. We have a funny story about politics to add to the memes. And it's one that's going to put a bit of a smile on your face. But first, let's get to some honorable mentions. Make sure we're not leaving anybody out. Heather with a $2.79 super chat. How are you and your dad especially doing? He's doing good. Going for surgery in a few weeks. They're going to try and operate on his old brain. Unfortunately, I've got none to spare because it's just so astronomically powerful. He can't handle it. But he is going for surgery. Hopefully everything goes well. Thank you for asking. Thank you for the super chat. David with the $5 super chat. There's one tradition on this channel, and that is a cowbell. I can't do it again. We just did it. But thank you. Disgusting Canadian $5 super chat. I wrote a song parody on Alberta separation to the tune of The Sound Of by Jan Arden. You can Google search Can Parody Songwriter.
Yes.
I'll take a look at that. We'll try to have it in the next live stream. Thank you for the $5 super chat. David of the $4.99 super chat. Springfield, Missouri, USA. Gotta love David Brewer, always hanging out on the channel. Derek and Tiffany. We in America support Alberta 100%. I love watching your videos every day. Thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat. Discussing the Canadian again. You know how Carney was wearing a red shirt doing his elbows up thing? It reminds me of an old toy chicken dance Elmo. There you go.
Yes.
Carnage, $5 super chat. I've kind of believed that Trump backed Carney just to destroy him. Maybe. You never know. They're crazy, those guys. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Carson, El Gringo Grande, joining us tonight, gifting 10 unacceptable Fringe memberships to the Patriots Club.
Thank
Wow,
you.
very generous. Thank you so much, Carson. Always appreciate Carson hanging out in the live stream. Welcome to all 10 of our new Patriots Club members. Let's keep the memes going, folks. We got a lot to get to tonight. Yes, I'm not stalling on how Canada's safe. We're going to get to it.
No.
I promise. I promise. Mrs. Fringe has a funny article to read about Mark Carney first. Let's go, guys. Let's go.
So get the vulgar F. Carney flags off of Parliament Hill, says our RCMP. Oh, they don't like them?
They're not a fan.
Last Friday, I confronted a protester displaying an F. Carney flag directly in front of the Prime Minister's office. The historic 1880s building serving Liberal and conservative leaders since 1975. When he refused to remove it, I gave him 2 minutes before I'd do it myself. An RCMP officer intervened. Despite my outrage at seeing such vulgarity on the grounds of our highest democratic office, the officer explained the flag was private property and he wasn't authorized to remove it. He mentioned protesters had conducted such activities for 5 years. As a Vancouver visitor, I was appalled. Is this the capital's welcome to tourists?
Now, it's important we say this because while you're talking about this, this guy's visiting Vancouver. Keep in mind, Palestinian protesters were on the streets of a library or steps of a library not too long ago, burning our Canadian flag and chanting "Death to Canada." So this guy's not happy because.
And again, this isn't new.
No, but they're mad that there's an F. Carney flag, but burning the Canadian flag in the name of Hamas holes, perfectly fine, right?
Yeah,
that's okay. No need to panic.
We're not allowed to be mad at our government. The officer asked me to stand down to avoid an incident before the Prime Minister emerged. Out of respect for the RCMP, descendants of the Northwest Mounted Police, a Canadian institution that brought civility to our untamed frontiers, I complied. The flag stayed. I'm a former Conservative MP, and my objection transcends partisan politics. I wasn't defending Carney or his party. I was defending the office of the Prime Minister itself. This protester wouldn't target a 60-year-old Ottawa father named Carney if he weren't Prime Minister. He was degrading our nation's highest office using hallowed public space. This distinction matters for democracy's health. I champion free expression and founded the Canadian Constitution Foundation to defend charter rights. In 2022, the foundation successfully defended a homeowner's right to display an F. Trudeau banner on our private property against municipal bylaws. While crass and, in my opinion, an ineffective way to conduct political discourse, such expression on private property may be protected. Good. But rights come with responsibilities and limits. The right to profane expression stops at our most symbolic public spaces. The Prime Minister's office at 80 Wellington Street isn't just any building. It's a National Historic Site and classified Federal Heritage Building representing 140 years of Canadian history and governance.
Not for long.
Maybe the government should not be screwing around and ruining the fact of that.
Well, as soon as Alberta leaves.
It is our current government's problem.
There won't be 150 years, at least.
Yeah.
Let's go.
The grounds of democratic institutions aren't neutral venues for unrestricted vulgarity. They embody our collective governance. Protecting such displays signals that we don't value the institutions safeguarding our freedoms. This self-loathing invites international disrespect. This is just insane. Just as Oliver Wendell Holmes noted that you can't falsely shout fire in a crowded theater. On Liberty author John Stuart Mill observed freedom ends where it harms others. Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl warned, freedom without responsibility is dangerous.
Isn't it funny that these guys, and this guy says that he was this is John Weston saying former Conservative MP, who now has issue with this because freedom of expression and freedom to speak out is okay in Canada as long as everybody agrees with it. Unfortunately, and this is where I envy Americans, because they freely exercise their democratic right to free speech under their constitution. Canadians seem to think that they can pull back on it and call it out whenever it doesn't suit their needs.
Oh,
that's not how freedom of expression works.
Article.
Nobody's being threatened unless the F. Carney's talking about bending him over and doing something to him in terms of a vulgar act. However, I don't think that's what's being expressed in this flag. So nobody's being threatened. Nobody's being harmed. It's people's right to find dismay with the guy who's running the country.
We have that privilege to be able to say something about it. Oh, this article.
We got some honorable mentions. Martin with the $10 super chat. Any news from the pleb? No, he's on holidays. I don't listen. I don't keep tabs on the pleb. He's a big boy. As far as I know, he's coming back. He was resting
Eventually.
up. He'll come back when it's good for him. He's burned out. This is essentially part of the thing that I was talking about when I hired the guy to do my emails. At some point, folks, when politics consumes your whole life, that there's a time for work and a time for play. I think the pleb was missing time to play.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's back soon. Disgusted Canadian. Oh, thank you for the super chat also. Disgusted Canadian, $5 super chat. I still think Puddin' Pop's Cosby talks better than Carney.
I
you
agree.
Put the zippity zappity and the boobity bobbity.
No.
Thank you for the super chat. Scotty with $10 super chat. Unifor speaking about fines for departing businesses and a Carney AI selling me trading apps. One is real, one is not. Can't tell. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, if you watched our video earlier today, Unifor talking about freezing accounts and assets of businesses leaving Canada. What about Brookfield?
Yeah.
Brookfield left Canada. What are we going to do there? Thank you for the super chat. Nate coming in with the $5 super chat. Will Canada break up like Yugoslavia only without the wars? I don't think so. I think there's going to be some form of a pushback.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to result in bloodshed, but we're already seeing a lot of messing around going on and shenanigans, attacks. It's only going to get worse the more it starts to look as though a vote is coming through. I'm going to get to that further in the stream, but thank you for the super chat. Drago Redsmith, the $2 super chat. What's up, buddy? From Elk Point, Alberta. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Guys, so generous tonight. I really appreciate everything. Thank you for being here. That's going to wrap it up for memes. A long meme session, already half an hour into the stream, and we just finished the memes, but isn't that fun? Isn't it nice to come in on a Friday and we're doing fun stuff? It's not all negative.
That's what we're here for.
It's not all doom and gloom all the time, folks. In fact, there's good things happening. We'll get to the doom and gloom later.
That's how we like to close.
I can hold off a little. Now, let's catch up with the chat a little bit, and then we're going to get into the meat and potatoes. My mama says you got to have your meat and potatoes. We'll get into it later in the
I don't get how you
stream.
could quote that movie since you've never seen it.
What are you talking about? I've seen Forrest Gump.
You told me the other day you didn't.
My cousin said she hasn't seen it.
Oh, right. Okay.
Mama says these are my magic shoes. Mama says they'll take me anywhere. Of course, Mom used to beat me with a rubber hose and call me a retard. Let's. Kelly saying politics is not what is occurring in Canada. It's criminality.
Yes.
It is. And boy, stay tuned this weekend. I've got some doozies coming up for you. You're not going to believe the newest scandal that's developed. Justin Trudeau making.
Shocking, a new scandal.
He's come back, and it's not good. It's not good. Stay tuned this weekend. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. We're broke. That's the doom and gloom. We'll get to that this weekend. Heather saying Trump may look after Brookfield with the tariffs. Trump laying out 60% tariffs on corporate investments. I haven't heard anything about that yet, but hey, I'll keep my ear to the tracks on that one. Jan Corey with the $2 super chat. Think libtards will self-implode, or do you think libtards will self-implode in under 6 months? I don't know. I don't really know. Because of what I'm dropping this weekend, it's hard to say what's going to happen.
Every scandal that's come out, you hope that something's going to happen.
And it never does.
They never do.
It never does. Stay with me here, folks. I'm getting to the chat. OAO says more memes. No, we got to get to business. It's, what is it Ferris Bueller says? It's over. You're still here. Go. The memes are done. They're over. JB saying memes will save Canada.
Yes,
I'm not so
they
sure
will.
about that. I'm not sure about that. Jay Peterson with a $5 super chat. Mrs. Fringe, you said free expression is a privilege we have. That's the problem in a nutshell. It should be an absolute right. The problem is it's treated as a privilege. It's treated as you're allowed to say what you can or what you want to until we have a problem with it. Yeah, we've already seen it.
When it goes against our feelings, then.
I already talked this week about how Stephen Guilbeault is now in charge of our freedom of speech when it comes to media that we consume, as it comes to censorship. And a lot of people, I think, missed the point of what I was alluding to in that video, One of the problems in that video is that what we're talking about is similar censorship to what is happening in the UK. Now, in the UK, there are people jailed for saying something the government doesn't agree with. A lot of people were saying to me, go to Rumble, go to these other platforms if you're censored on YouTube. It's not about censorship. What I'm concerned about, what's coming, if we adopt UK-style laws, now keep in mind, Mark Carney is very fond of the United Kingdom. If we adopt those laws into our country, they could go back in my catalog on YouTube and say, hey, you said this about the government and it's misinformation. Yeah. So now we're going to charge you. You're going to face fines. Your bank account's going to be frozen. We're going to throw you in jail. It doesn't even matter if you upload from the United States. If you're talking about the government in any way, shape, or form that they don't agree with, it's not just censorship. Jail. Other platforms aren't going to save you. I think that's crazy when you think about where we're headed. It's definitely not a Canada that I want to be a part of. Discussing Canadian $2 super chat. Happy belated Leafs elimination day. There we go. There we go. You guys watching the hockey? Somebody's probably got the hockey on.
Yeah.
I hope the Oilers
are playing tonight. What a night to stream.
Boy, did they ever they really crapped the bed against Dallas the other night. I think they kind of took it from Winnipeg, at least, in terms of crapping the bed. But somebody says it here. What is this? Let's go. Trudeau, come back to roll up your sleeves and show Carney how to run the funhouse. Please no. Please no.
No.
Let's get on to let's get on to tonight's stories, because there's a lot to discuss when it comes to the government and what's happened. Yes, folks, as I said earlier, we're safe. Carney's been shut down. What am I talking about? Well, we were talking recently all week long for the past couple of weeks. There's been a lot of rumblings going on of Carney towing the line for an NDP to cross the floor. We knew that he was trying to find ways to get a majority government, that he was only about a seat or two shy from getting that majority government. There's been a ton of recounts going on. Today, the recounts came to a close, and I'm happy to report 2 ridings flipped to the Conservatives after recounts. Liberal majority is gone. It's not possible at this point.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
That's
a relief.
In some degree, we're safe. Meaning Mark Carney cannot negotiate a majority government. He can't just have free reign throughout the country to do whatever he wants. So this means that when we talk about the censorship, when we talk about more taxes, when we talk about a number of different things, unless you're getting multiple parties supporting you, and in which case people say, well, you could still just get the NDP. Hopefully, we don't see any kind of...
Well, the NDP has how many seats? Like 3?
They've got a couple left, but this is where Paul's saying the Bloc will prop them up.
Yeah.
I think it depends on what they're pushing, what they're talking about.
Only if it is good for the Bloc.
Somebody saying confidence vote on the first budget in the fall. Absolutely. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, somebody's saying there's 7 NDP. Yeah, I knew there was a few of them. They essentially have non-party status. Let's take a look at the video clip. Let's take a look at what's said here, just so everybody has a broad picture of what's happening now, what happened in those ridings, so we can take a clear look at the picture here. Let's watch this.
Now with more. So what is the result in Terra Nova, the peninsulas?
Andrew, we've got a flip. For a while now, it seemed, and on election night, it seemed as though the Liberals had won the riding of Terra Nova, the peninsulas, but within the last half hour, the results came down from the recount, and Elections Canada has announced that Conservative Jonathan Rowe is the new MP in that riding. So constituents of that riding, meet your new MP, Jonathan Rowe. The interesting thing here is that on election day, Liberal candidate Anthony Germain won the riding by a total of 12 votes, which triggered the re-election because it falls within the threshold of needing a recount, because it was so close. And now today they have announced that Jonathan Rowe has actually beaten Anthony Germain by 12 votes. So 12 votes either way, but it looks as though the Conservatives are now running things in that riding.
Another way for a change.
12 votes. This is where I've always said, you say a vote doesn't make a difference. 12 votes.
But it's nice to see it going another direction other than leading always towards the Liberals winning this seat.
Well, that was my concern as we went into these recounts, is that you're going to be looking at shenanigans, right? People talking about elections being stolen. Remember the whole there's ballots in boxes and people are no, there was none of that.
No. Was questionable on a few things, but not
people have
that.
the right to question
Yes.
it, but no, it has nothing to do with that. It's that they were so tight in certain ridings. And I think it's funny, somebody mentioned earlier, why are you using a CBC video? It's the same reason when we talked about the censorship earlier. By using their videos, their articles, they can't come back on me and say it's misinformation, because this is the government arm prostitute shill media. Not only is it funny to laugh at them and drink their tears, but it helps on this channel for them shutting us down, saying that I'm quoting false information.
Yeah.
We're showing their information. So two can play this game. Let's continue.
That again, just coming down a short while ago. Now, this is a recount that was scheduled to only take about 2-3 days. Took close to 2 weeks, Andrew. There were several delays. There were a lot of seemingly spoiled ballots, or at least ballots that were rendered invalid. Those ballots, if you can make out who they're trying to vote for, if both parties agree to it, they can be counted in a recount. And so that had to be the case. There was over 1,000 of those. There was also delays in the town of Marystown, Newfoundland. There were water shutoff issues there, and that sort of delayed things for a little bit too. But as far as we know, the recount is done. Elections Canada confirms Jonathan Rowe is the new MP in the Newfoundland riding of Terra Nova, the Peninsulas. We got another result earlier this morning in the Ontario riding of Windsor-Tecumseh Lakeshore. That one just confirming the win that we already knew. Conservative Kathy Borelli has now been confirmed as the winner in that riding. The recount started Tuesday, wrapped up earlier today. New results show a slimmer win for Borelli, but still a win over Liberal incumbent Eric Kuzmierczuk. Borelli.
So Kathy Borelli taking the seat in Windsor. I can't remember if this was the riding, if it was Windsor or Hamilton, where it was alleged that ballot boxes were going home with open bags or being altered. But this is how you know, folks, everything was on the up and up.
Yeah.
Okay. The votes were recounted. Thankfully, nothing went through for Mark Carney. He can't get his majority at this point. I know people are saying the Liberals will, or the Bloc will prop them up. I think it's going to depend on things, but the Bloc's not going to prop them up any more than they used to. And we all know that Blanchette does not like Mark Carney, right? He didn't favor Justin Trudeau. He does not like Mark Carney. I don't see the Bloc doing anything unless it's beneficial for them at this point. So what does this mean? It means no pipelines. It means it's going to push more separatism talks in the West. I love how everybody tries to get a hold of me while I'm on live stream. I tell everybody when we live stream at these times, my phone has been going the entire time we've been on. I'm so sorry, folks. I meant to have that on mute. At least Canada's safe from a majority government. This is the one thing I'm actually happy to see. I'm happy to hear about is that we're safe. But what does this mean for separatism talks? What does this mean moving forward? What does it mean for Canada? We're not out of the woods yet. Again, I'll give a little bit of a back shell on what this weekend's stories are going to be about. If you didn't know already, Justin Trudeau is getting 2 pensions as he leaves office. Now, I was not aware of that, and maybe I need to brush up on my my rules and regulations of being a prime minister. But Justin Trudeau is receiving 2 pensions worth a total of $8 million with an M. This is the problem with our government, is that we pay too much.
Yep.
People can't afford to live. These guys are being treated like sports athletes. They're being given these over-the-top pensions. Between severance pay for Trudeau, now keep in mind, any other job on the planet you can't walk away from and get severance pay. He walked away. He got a severance pay. I believe it's roughly $140,000. And then he also gets $8 million in 2 pensions, one for being an MP for 12 years, another for being prime minister for almost 10. That's ridiculous. A pension's a pension. When are we going to have enough of this? When are we going to say enough is enough? MPs are paid ridiculous amounts of money to sit in the House of Commons. Like backbenchers make something like almost $200,000 a year. Why are we paying for this? And keep in mind, the government hasn't actually gone to work for the last Year?
Almost year, yeah.
So why did Jagmeet Singh qualify for his pension? Shouldn't you have to be at work to get your pension? Shouldn't the time at your job be calculated into actually working?
Sadly, no.
Instead of holding a title? Disgusting Canadian $5 super chat. Trudeau is getting Dr. Evil $8 million. He's running away with it. Wesley Snipes saying Jam Tartan MP got the boot dream. Tom saying the payouts for Trudeau's prime minister pension will begin at $73,000 per year when he turns 67 years old. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's totaling $8 million. Why are we paying him $8 million for time served? This is a guy who froze your bank accounts, by the way, who illegally invoked the Emergencies Act, had, I think it was roughly 15 scandals.
Bankrupted Canada.
Plus a new scandal concerning him that's come out recently. I can't spoil that one because that's a doozy. That's coming this weekend. He quit. No EI. There you go, says Radio Reaction. I have a huge problem with this. I don't know why our government... Keep in mind, do you guys remember a time when we called these guys public servants?
Yeah, they don't work for the people. They work for themselves.
They
They're
don't
still in their pockets.
This is where you know they don't care about us. They don't care about the country. They don't care about policies. They care about their bank accounts. They care about their pockets.
Still in their pockets.
What do you think?
Still in their friends' pockets.
What do you think Mark Carney's going to do? Scotty with $5 super chat. Trudeau's double dip is nothing in comparison to the kickbacks from Ukraine. But that's what I'm saying. Like the scandals. We have parliamentary privilege. We don't have to face police charges for anything illegal that we do. We don't have to answer for anything we do. We don't have to have accountability.
That needs to be changed. Needs to be changed.
I will give Pierre a little nod because he actually refused his severance. Now, I think because he's staying in the opposition leader's residence, it could have something to do with it. I think it's also the fact that he's disagreeing with severance when he's doing a by-election to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if he loses that by-election, I'll be curious to see if he takes that severance. However, at least that's one government official who says, no, I'm not going to take it. Every other MP lines up.
Of course.
They want it.
Money.
Disgusting Canadian, $2 super chat. At least Damien Couric wasn't in it for the pension.
Yeah.
I mean, you know there was a deal made, though. The guy was 6 months away from his pension. You really think he just said, nah, it's okay. No problem, guys. I'll just walk away. Something happened. Something happened. Lima Sierra with the $7 super chat. I served 21 years in the Canadian Air Force. I get less than $3,000 a month.
How horrible is that?
That's the problem I have with this whole thing. Our veterans are shit on. You remember when Justin Trudeau said you're simply asking for more than we have to give? Yet he gave all of our military weapons. He gave all of our money. He printed money.
And nothing to the veterans.
To give to the Ukraine?
Send all this money away overseas.
To send to Ukraine?
No.
To Zelensky? And I know people who are Ukrainian who defend this, who say, you don't understand what it's like over there.
How do you say, I hate my country without saying...
I'm going to say something that's going to sound so cruel and so bad. I don't care what's going on in their country when our people are hooked on illegal substances.
Take care of our people first.
They're on illegal substances. They're in tent cities. They're addicted and left to die. Our veterans are left out in the cold. We're telling our veterans it's better to give you maid than to look after you. What the hell is that? So when you ask me, well, do you really care about what's going on in the Ukraine? So long as those problems persist in my country, I don't give a damn what's going on in the Ukraine. Is it terrible? Absolutely. Absolutely. War is never good for anybody. And my heart goes out to any family that's losing its family members over there, anything bad that's happening. But when you're going to tell me, hey, we're just going to keep pumping out money.
We need to help our country first.
Secure your own backyard, then worry about others. No more. Stop disrespecting our vets. Start looking after them. I'll tell you one thing. Everybody wants to poo-poo all over the police and all over our vets and all over those who do things to keep us safe until they need them.
Yep.
Until they need them. And then they're sitting there going, oh, I'm so glad we have a military to protect us. I'm so glad we have police to call whenever we need somebody. Instead of every time you talk to them, you pull out your phone and go, you can't pull me over. I know the law. I'm a mobile lawyer. I've watched YouTube. I've watched YouTube, bitch. I know the law. You're damn happy to see them when someone comes knocking on your door and threatens you with a weapon. Nate with a $5 super chat. This is crazy. U.S. president only gets $246,400 a year in pension. What's crazy is that people want to crap all over Donald Trump. Donald's a terrible guy. He's the worst president ever, according to the media, according to the left wing wackos.
And what's he getting paid?
$1.
Yeah, a year.
He's actually lost money to hold public office, to run the country, because he's a passionate American.
Yep.
I don't care what anybody says about Donald Trump. Anytime somebody says to me, he's terrible, he's this, he's that, he's a bad...
No one else would do that.
Give me one other person who has gone and worked for free. In fact, gone to lose money.
Yeah.
Simply because they're patriotic and they love their country. And people say, oh, Trump makes money on the back end. He does. Get out of here with that. Get out of here. How many politicians make money on the back end? How many politicians are in it? Like, I've said it before, put them in jumpsuits like NASCAR and have them wear all their sponsors all over their suits.
Oh, yeah.
It would shock you.
Yep.
It would absolutely shock you. Canada first.
Yeah.
We'll never see Canada first.
No.
Because they don't want it. This is why people in Alberta are crying for separation. People are saying enough. And once you see the stories that I'm going to be talking about this weekend, you're going to understand why I'm saying enough is enough. We're finished. We don't want any more.
Oh, the G7 meeting is in Banff.
Yeah, the G7 meeting in Banff. Donald Trump's going to be there. Somebody said to me the other day, what are the odds that you can get to Banff? Maybe. Shout out to Donald in the line. Say, Mr. Trump, come here. I want to talk to you.
I said that. I said it.
You said it as well. You said it as well. I've been getting messages on X, comment section on YouTube. Do you know how much security Donald Trump has?
I know, but still.
I don't even care. Sarah Palin said that he has my book in Mar-a-Lago. I still wouldn't get an audience with the guy.
Come on.
I'll issue this right now. Guys, share this stream out. Tag Real Donald Trump on Twitter.
We will drive to Banff.
Clip this portion of the podcast. Show Donald Trump that I want to sit down. I want to talk to him. I'll talk to him like this the entire time we're talking. I'll tell him about Mark Carney. I'll tell him about everything.
Give him a signed book. Come on.
I'll even give him a signed book. I'll give him one of our best signed books. I'll tell him this is the best one, believe me. It's best because it's got his signature on it. That would be a dream. It's not going to happen.
No.
But it's good to see that Donald Trump's coming out this way. Maybe he'll make an offer to purchase while he's here.
No.
Scotty with a $5 super chat. Curious to see what the Alberta Constitution will look like. The right to bear arms? I'm sure hoping so. If you watched the channel earlier today, I put out a video talking about the Alberta Republican Party. I'll get to them. Boy, I'll get to them. But as we get into a shameless plug, as we get into Alberta and Alberta's future, we were finally cleared for new merch on the channel. These Alberta shirts, Alberta Strong shirts,
oh, those look good,
are now available. Hoodies, shirts are now available in the store. They're on sale. Go and get them now.
And next week, we have our end of the month giveaway.
End of the month giveaway next week, folks. You got to be a member of the Patriots Club. If you join the Patriots Club, you can pick one of these, t-shirt or hoodie from the store. Make sure to get in on that. Shameless plug over. Ad over. Let's get to what we're talking about the Alberta Republican Party. If you guys missed the video earlier today, and boy, a lot of people missed it. CB Fixes All brought some stuff to my attention, but stuff that we were watching over the last little while as well. This is why I keep saying government is the big problem in this country, not just in the federal government, but Alberta. There's going to be a lot of games going on. There's going to be a lot of things going on with separatist talk. In fact, David Eby in BC today saying that he will not allow for the Northern Gateway pipeline. Now that the recount has settled where it is, we know that Mark Carney isn't going to push Quebec into a pipeline in the east. So Danielle Smith will not be getting anything that she said they had 6 months to figure out. This is only going to fuel separation talks further, because Albertans are going to see that they're never going to get a deal. They're never going to be allowed to go to work. They're never going to be allowed to get their products to market. Now, Mark Carney, of course, I covered a video where he passed the buck and said, oh, as long as everybody agrees, I'll put through a pipeline. I'm not going to be the bad guy. I'm not going to make anybody do anything, everyone. It's only if everybody agrees. Well, now you see here the Alberta Republican Party announcing Cameron Davies. And I've said my piece. If you saw the video, I know this is repeat for you guys, but I said it when I met these guys at the Rebel News Town Hall. You're nothing but vote splitters. You're just old government guys from other parties that want to come over and try to boost your policies somewhere else. You want to fool Albertans into thinking that you're all about separation. They're not at all. Cameron Davies, if you followed today's video, was responsible for fraudulently laundering $20,000 to Jason Kenney's kamikaze nomination. He was fired by Jason Kenney. So he worked with the UCP. He has a vendetta against Danielle Smith. Do you guys remember the AGM where Danielle Smith was supposed to be called out and fired? You had guys like Marty up north and all them say, I'm going to the AGM and I'm going to tell Danielle Smith what I think of her. I'm going to tell her to get out of here, even though Marty up north was at her victory party when she won the premier's office. Again, no smack at Marty up north. I just find it so funny how it goes so far one way and then so far the other. Some days he loves Danielle, other days he absolutely despises her. And I've said it's okay to question your politicians, but the problem is you don't pedestal them one minute and then tell them you want them fired the next. You got to find a neutral ground. The problem with Cameron Davies is that when you look at Jason Kenney was a Federalist. Fat Stalin, as I call him. He was a Federalist. He wanted a federal job. He abused us during lockdowns. He said, we'll never go full lockdown. We'll never tell people they can't leave their house. We'll never segregate people in restaurants. Next week, we're segregating people in restaurants, folks. You can't go out of your house. You can't see your family members. I didn't want to do this, but there's so much pressure from Ottawa. He didn't want to lose the opportunity to run for feds again and sit in the House of Commons. He's WEF. Cameron Davies is WEF. And these guys are now going from event to event telling people, oh, we're all for separation. We want to hold Danielle Smith to account. We want to make sure that there's somebody arguing against Danielle in the House of Commons. Newsflash, there already is. They're the NDP. In fact, she can't even go outside without getting hassled by Naheed Nenshit because the guy doesn't even have a seat. And he's standing outside the legislature yelling at her. We don't need to get away from government to have more government. That's not what the separation is about. Separation is to have a new start, clean slate, new constitution, as it was mentioned earlier, new laws in this province, new sheriff in town. These guys are a sham. I can't, in good faith, recommend anyone having anything to do with Republican Party of Alberta. They're the PPC of Alberta. They're here just to vote split. They're here to install WEF-style policies dressed up as separatism.
And they've started the vote now. So what does that mean?
And they started the vote. So I'm not sure why they did that. But I'm going to get into the Alberta Prosperity Project because I got a little bit of a bone to pick here. Discussed a Canadian $5 super chat. The only thing I liked about Kenny was how he questioned Teresa's scam. Yeah, I like that too. But that's one in a million.
Yeah, his angry letters didn't do it.
You guys remember Jason Kenney? I'm going to go fight Justin Trudeau. Are you going to fight Trudeau? Yeah, I wrote him a letter.
You sound like South Park guys.
I wrote him a letter. Hey, buddy, I wrote him a letter.
I'll write him another letter.
And then when Justin Trudeau did nothing, hey, Trudeau didn't answer your letter, Mr. Kenney. Oh, I'm just going to write him another one then.
It will be angrier.
It'll be angrier. I will write it from my sky palace, and Justin Trudeau will tremble. This is what Fat Stalin did. He was terrible. He's the Doug Ford of Alberta. He's a liberal in sheep's clothing. Terrible. Will with the $2 super chat. We need to reform Canada with a new confederation. I couldn't agree more. Disgusted Canadian. $5 super chat. The only thing I liked about Kenny was how he questioned Teresa. Okay, so we got that one. Thank you for the super chats, guys. It's Alberta Prosperity Project. Now, I will still tell people you should go there. They are the best resource for information. It's where you go to sign up for your intent to sign on a yes ballot when it becomes available. Now that the 120 days, I'm sure they're going to start alerting people when you can start signing for that, or when you can sign for the ability to have it on a referendum. Jay Peterson, $5 super chat. As far as Kenny's concerned, even a broken clock is right twice a day. There you go. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Here's my problem with the APP. They're holding a lot of gatherings, a lot of town halls across Alberta. They're trying to educate people. Now, I sat down with my media people this week and we did the math. We looked through all of our analytics. Turns out every month, roughly 500,000 Albertans watch this channel. Now, that's on views. 500,000 Albertans, 10% of the province, views this channel every month. So I reached out to the Alberta Prosperity Project because I like what they're doing. I like that. I've said before, I think Jeffrey Rath is great as a constitutional lawyer. I think he should be focusing on the legal end of things and staying off the social media stuff. I think that they need a spokesperson, a face of the organization that's able to speak very fluently, somebody who's able to handle the media. I thought Keith Wilson should do that job.
Yes.
I think he'd do a great job. He's got a lot of experience with the media. He's got great public speaking skills. Keith is a super lawyer. I still think Keith would be the best guy for the job. Here's my issue with the Alberta Prosperity Project. And keep in mind as I'm saying this, because people are going to think that it's saltiness or anger or anything like that. There's a lot of disorganization going on over there. What I'm worried about is that we're getting one shot at this. One shot. I don't want Alberta to be a part of this country anymore, so long as Mark Carney, Justin Trudeau, and others want to ravage Alberta.
Yeah.
We're not going to get a deal.
They rushed into it. I don't know if we're ready for that.
I don't know if we're ready for it either. They would know because they have the numbers. Now, they're doing a town hall in Sherwood Park next week. Now, I reached out to them. And I didn't speak with Jeffrey Rath. I didn't speak with one of their mains. I spoke with whoever handles the seating or the RSVPs for these events. And I reached out to them and I said, listen, I'd like to come to that event. I've signed up to RSVP. They said, well, sometimes there's no shows. We'll try and fit you into a seat. At which time I said to them, look, I'd love to get there. I've got just over 100,000 subscribers. 500,000 viewers in Alberta watch this channel every month. People have a lot of questions. I've been following what you guys are doing. I'd love to come there and live stream the event Thursday night so that people can see all the people asking questions. They can hear what you have to say. They can get educated on the laws. And I was told, well, we have somebody who's exclusively streaming on Rumble. It's a small channel. Nobody watches Rumble. Now, I said to them, listen, with all due respect, because they told me they didn't want me live streaming at this event. In fact, their exact words were, we're trying to keep the event low key.
That I don't understand.
Why are you trying to keep...
We want this out there.
I essentially want to do what the pleb did with Pierre during the election. I want to be at these town halls, broadcast them, talk to people, get people educated, get people hyped about this ballot vote.
We want this information out there. This should not be low key.
When you've just jumped the gun on this 120-day process, why are you wanting it to be low key? Why don't you want people getting the news they need? Why don't you want them getting the information? Why am I being told with 10% of the province watching this channel that I am not a valued asset?
Why are they trying
at that
to hide
event?
it?
That's what I'm worried about. Is
So
that
they rushed the vote out there and now they're going to hide it?
what I'm talking about isn't shadiness. What I'm not talking about is, oh, there's something else going on in the background. I'm not here to talk badly about those who run the APP. What I'm talking about is disorganization. We have one crack at this.
We said this needed to be organized from the very beginning.
I tried to persuade them again by saying, listen, I think I could be a real benefit to what you're doing. I think I can join with other large channels like Moose on the Loose. I've talked to him before about this on stream. You guys saw him in my 100,000 stream show where I said we could probably all share information. We could get this out so that people are confident for a yes vote.
Yeah.
They have all their ducks in a row. They know what they want to be doing. And I was told, you know what, go talk to some other people within our organization. We're not really interested at this time. We'd prefer you didn't. We do have other events if you wish to live stream those if that's something you want for your channel. And I'm sitting there saying, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
This isn't for the benefit of views and clicks. I'm doing this for them. This is their benefit.
Alberta needs to know the information.
This is for the benefit of Albertans to get the facts as what's going to happen. In fact, even today still in the comments section, I have people saying, I'm First Nations. We have the final say in what happens. We know the laws. Go read a treaty, idiot. The whole point of televising these things or broadcasting these events is so that when these morons are speaking up because they're butthurt or they're sour about what's going on, our viewers have the information that's necessary. So I'm sad to report I will not be going to the APP event this Thursday, not unless somebody wants to get back to me. Again, I've reached out to Jeffrey Rath. I've reached out to Keith Wilson. I've reached out to a number of people within the APP. None of them want to get back to me. So hopefully somebody can tag this live stream. Somebody can send it out on social media, get loud, and tell them you're screwing the pooch here. You're kicking away a grandiose opportunity. Keep in mind that when the pleb and I were broadcasting Pierre's rallies, I saw smashed records of viewers.
Yes.
Wanting to watch those rallies. We seen roughly, 7,000, 8,000 people watching the stream. Pleb had almost 20,000 on his.
Yep.
And Alberta
People want
Prosperity
that.
wants to say, we want to keep it low key.
Low key. This should never be low key. This should be out there.
I don't want to sit and nitpick over why they want it to be low key. Again, I'd love if somebody would reach out to me and explain to me why they want it to be low key, because then maybe I'd have a better perception. But all it does is raise questions. Why don't you want the information out there?
Yep.
I'm offering you free airtime. Again, the math was done. 10% of the province watches this channel monthly. That's a huge asset to them. And this isn't me being butthurt. This is me worried that they're going to screw the pooch on this and we're going to lose our opportunity to get out. If you get guys like PJ the Belt, this new Josh guy that I keep hearing about, Josh on Topic, I think it is, all these other YouTubers that could be covering this, live streaming these events, networking together, getting the information out on social media, answering questions. Wouldn't that be more beneficial? This has me worried the same way Pierre's guy said during the election, we need to keep an arm's length reach from you YouTubers.
And that worked really well.
Podcasts, you're a liability, you're all these things. How did that work out?
Yeah.
People are going to say, Fringe, you're out here picking bones with the APP, though. They're not going to want to have anything to do with you. I'm not making any beef with the APP. I will still promote that is the best place to go for your information.
Yes.
I will still report on everything they drop. However, I only have the ability to report on whatever they put on social media because they don't want us broadcasting their events. Why not? I don't understand. I don't get it. Let's get to some honorable mentions. Suna Soul Silver, $10 super chat. Thank you. We cannot allow Nenshit to win the election. These politicians are in it for themselves and not for Alberta. We need to let everyone know why we should not vote NDP, and mainstream media is hiding it.
Yeah.
Look.
Nenshi is horrible.
If Nenshi gets in, we're done. He's WEF.
I would take Notley back over Nenshi.
Nenshi will completely bankrupt Alberta. He'll destroy it. He'll tear it from the inside out.
Yep.
If Nenshi wins, we all lose.
Yeah.
Another $5 super chat from Suna Soul Silver. And I think this is why the Liberals are not caring about this. The organizers of APP are scared and they are not realizing it.
Yeah.
I don't think APP are scared. I just think they're unorganized.
Yes.
They need a spokesperson. They need a plan. They need, again, why did you jump to the 120 days now? Were you put on a limit by somebody? Were you told it's now or never? Please enlighten us.
It would be wonderful
if you want us to vote. You have to
rushed.
Yeah, you gotta we said it right from the beginning. Let's take our time. Let's make sure this is done properly.
You want it done right. You have one shot.
One shot. Nilok, $2 super chat. HMU, I'll try to get it handled. I'll call tomorrow.
Perfect.
Thank you. Scotty, $5 super chat. I volunteered to help. All can. They want it spontaneous and grassroots. That's why the opportunism of the Republican Party gets rolling. Thank you for the $5 super chat. You need to speak directly to Jeff. He's your guy. I've emailed him.
Yeah.
I was given an email for him. I've emailed him. I haven't heard anything back. Keith and I follow each other on Twitter. I used to talk to Keith on other platforms. I don't have those messaging platforms anymore, but I send him messages weekly on DMs. Keith, come on the show. I tag him on Twitter. People have been tagging him with our videos. You need to go on Unacceptable Fringe and talk about this. I haven't heard anything back. I know Keith is a busy guy, but 10% of the province.
Yeah.
Like, you can go on other channels. I'm not saying don't go on other channels, but this is an Alberta-based channel. You're talking about gaining another 15% of voters that need to push over a yes vote. And I have 10% of the province watching this channel. That is a huge asset to you. Please don't squander it. This isn't about views. It's not about clicks. It's not about clout. It's not about exclusivity. It's about we get one chance. And I'll give you everything I got to make sure the word gets out just how you want it.
Yeah.
That's what we need. Talk to people face to face. They can't censor that. Share the easy math.
Yep.
I mean, at some point, yeah, I'll have to do that. But I've been told that this event on Thursday has no seats. Dimebag Coin saying, I want elections. I can just void if I don't like the outcome. Can we get that? Well, that'd be unfair, but
I
no.
wish.
Jason saying, are you getting a 100,000 subscriber plaque? So I've asked YouTube. They still haven't given me the go-ahead for it. The channel's verified, but they told me that they're still verifying something with the channel, or it's in review, I guess. We're still waiting to hear back. At some point I will. Hopefully at some point I will. Scotty says Nenshi has blood on his hands for the free substances and homelessness in Calgary. He does.
He has a lot more than that for Calgary.
We need an ex-politician with deep connections as leader. No.
No politician.
No politicians. You don't want anybody's hands touching this. We don't want government.
No.
It's getting away from government.
Yeah.
Look, if Danielle said, I'll split from UCP, if a yes vote went through and lead the charge on separatism, okay, I'd take Danielle. But only because she's had the fortitude to work for us so far. At least I could get behind Danielle a little bit.
Yeah.
Do I agree with everything she does? No. But I think that she's strong enough. She has connections with other governments. She knows how to talk with them. I would take Danielle.
Wonderful for Alberta.
Nilok, $2 super chat. I'll call APP tomorrow and try to get you on. Listen, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
but
thank you.
When their own people email me back from the RSVP saying we're not interested, and I said, do you know? Like, again, I'm not trying to.
No. Do you know who I am?
Do you know what you're throwing away here? 10% of the province watches this channel. I don't think you want those eyes to miss this.
No, this should not be small. This should be huge.
So I see this all the time, and I do want to touch on this. And please don't think I'm scrutinizing you for posting this. People say it all the time. We're not voting our way out of this. So what is the solution? How do we get away? Like, I'm one of those people that says I'm going to keep trying until I get ahead, until I get a result.
Never give up.
Winners never quit. Quitters never win. Like, I understand. And yes, there's times I feel defeated too. There's times that I say, enough. Like, I'm just done. Throw in the towel. If I did that, this channel wouldn't exist. You guys wouldn't be here tonight. We have to stay vigilant. We have to keep our eyes on the prize. No distractions. If we truly want to get out of this, we have to be in large numbers, we have to be organized, and we have to execute formidably that a Republic of Alberta is what its people truly want. When the slings and arrows of judgment come hurling towards us, of other provinces, politicians, people within the province saying you're all terrible people for doing this, avoid it, ignore it, push forward. We need to keep our eyes on the prize. We need to be organized. It's not happening. Trevor, 279 super chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. Thank you. Jason P, 279 super chat. You deserve it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. I saw Radio Reaction up here. Where is he? I thought I saw Radio Reaction up here. Maybe I mistook
You're
it.
going way too fast. How do you see anything?
Because I got talent, baby. Jason P, good job on doing both Canadian events and Alberta events this week. Great job. Thank you. Listen, I want to cover all of Canada.
We love Canada.
It's important to cover the Alberta stuff too. And I understand, I think Jason was the one who said last week, let's split it up a bit. And I agree. It's the problem with what's happening in Alberta is you've got other provinces talking about falling in line. Alberta could be the catalyst to a Western Canada or a Western Republic. So it's important to cover all of this so that other people in other provinces are getting the information that, hey, you know what? Maybe we should be talking to our officials that are considering this.
Join us.
Yeah. Join us. We have cookies, right?
Come with us.
That's, I saw it. I saw something in here that I wanted to bring up. He was here?
He was here. Radio Reaction. That's who you were
talking about. Radio Reaction.
Yeah.
Yes, he was here. He was here. I see people talking bad about the Oilers. Are they losing? Scotty, $2 super chat. If you weren't here tonight, I'd be on a hot date.
Ooh.
Well, in some alternate reality. Now, Kim's talking about UNDRIP. Here's the thing about UNDRIP. And people keep bringing this up, and this is where I mentioned earlier, First Nations guys in my comments saying, I'm First Nations. This guy said to me, you're not allowed to leave. We own the land. And I said, he says, the people have spoken. It's been decided. You can't leave. First Nations have all the rights. I said, please tell me your source to this because this should be rich. Now he came back and said, well, I'm First Nations. That's how I know you can't leave. That's enough said. And I said, well, that's just your emotions. So no, that's not it. Go read a treaty. We've read them on this channel. We've talked about the laws.
Yeah.
We can leave. If we get enough votes, your land has 3 options.
Yeah. Join us or
I won't go through it again because we've gone over it like a broken record. Your land has 3 options. We can leave. We have the resources. It's all been settled. It's all out there. Again, constitutional lawyers putting it all on paper have read all the documents. Danielle Smith wouldn't be talking about, we'll look at a yes vote when the time comes. If she said, guys, we're going to lose everything. UNDRIP is going to push. First Nations are going to push. They're all funded by Soros. The Tides Foundation. This is where I'm talking earlier about just push past it. Ignore it. The more people say, like, if you think there's going to be no interference in this, there's going to be tons.
Oh, yeah.
Tons. The federal government doesn't want to lose Alberta. They just want to keep abusing us.
Yep.
They want to be that abusive husband that hits us and says, you can't leave. You're nothing without me.
It won't happen again.
You'll never leave. You'll never be successful without us. Right? Then they start sending in the Soroses. They start sending in the UNDRIPs. Tides Foundations. You guys remember when they did this in North Dakota? It was either North or South Dakota with the pipelines. They do it all over the country and all over the United States. You know, the Tides Foundation paying that one chief, what was it, $50,000 to tank the oil industry. Just start hitting them with facts. They can scream till the cows come home.
Yeah. There's always enough money.
Or the buffalo in their case.
Change the vote.
But they can scream as much as they want. The laws are the laws.
Yeah, they can't change that.
The best thing that we could do to get back at that right now, to stop UNDRIP in Alberta, is to vote yes on separation. Kick it to the curb. It's got no place in the new Republic of Alberta. Jason with another $7 super chat. Are more video game machines coming soon? I love the old setup. No, unfortunately, Jason, they are not. Thank you for the super chat. Video game machines won't be coming back because I'm limited on space. And quite frankly, I'm in a basement. They're upstairs. I don't want to haul them all the way down here.
You'd be doing it alone.
I would be doing it alone. But that's make UNDRIP dripless. Yes, absolutely. APP has been compromised by libs. I don't know why anybody's saying that, but okay. Joe saying fake natives are the blowhards and showboaters. Yeah, they are. And that's the thing, is that when you look at the money that's tied up in Alberta, even again, the influence that Alberta could give to other provinces like British Columbia minus Vancouver and Vancouver Island, Saskatchewan. Manitoba's talking about it, and they're being led by a First Nations premier.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you can take from this. They're actually mulling it over. These provinces all have something to lose here. Because if Alberta starts showing that, hey, we're not paying attention to this nonsense, we know the laws, we're just getting our vote and getting out of here, it's going to lead the way for other provinces to start saying, hey, we can do the same thing. We don't have to put up with this. We're the first person to leave at the party. Party's over. All the interference is going to come flooding our way. All of it. And it's going to get nasty. It's going to get real nasty. I'm not talking like election shenanigans. I'm talking like protests, violence in the streets.
Are protests
possibly
allowed?
Well, maybe freezing of bank accounts. We'll see. There may be violence in the streets. You may see First Nations go to the streets and start causing problems. You might see those advocating for First Nations, Antifa. You know, businesses being burned. You might see a number of chaotic things happen the closer we get, especially if the vote starts to favor a 60+ percentile of Albertans saying they're ready to go. Notice that when, and I keep bringing it up, this is when you know you're winning, when it's all coming forward. The people of Quebec, nobody kicked up any dust when they wanted to leave. Nobody.
No.
They said, go ahead, you go do whatever you want.
See you later.
First Nations weren't concerned with that one. They weren't concerned with that one.
No.
Onalade, $2 super chat. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm from Toronto. Keep fighting the deep state. Thank you so much. Jason, Mrs. Fringe, what's your favorite thing about Mr. Fringe?
Aw. His eyes and his confidence.
Confidence?
Yeah, you've got good confidence.
No confidence. Somebody says BLM. BLM? Yeah, no, we're not going to see BLM. But you're going to see special interest groups. Anytime... Here's the thing, guys. What I do on this channel isn't any special gift. It doesn't take a lot of know-how to do what I do. And I'm not trying to undersell myself. But what I'm saying is that anytime you see these press conferences, just do what old Fringe does. Start looking at who's speaking. Google their name. Do a search somewhere, a DuckDuckGo, wherever you do your searches. Check out any information on them, articles from the past, anything that has ties to where they're from. Who's funding them? Follow the money anytime you see these people. Anytime people want to argue to you, and again, I've had family members come to me saying, oh, we're stealing from First Nations. I said, no, we're not.
Yes.
And as soon as you show them the law, and as soon as you show them, they go, oh, I didn't know that. Well, that's because they're listening to all these people. They're taking the bait.
Well, because they're purposely being misinformed. Yeah, it's the bait.
If we're able to use knowledge and statistics to fight against those of special interests, to educate Albertans, this is why I think it's so vital that Alberta Prosperity be the staple for Alberta independence, and that they use every resource they have. Not just me, every resource they have to network and get the word out to ensure that this stuff does not continue. We have to.
Sorry, I just want to read one.
Now, Mrs. Fringe is taking over the stream.
I have.
Are you going to highlight the comment instead of just reading it? Or there we go. You look like a couple. You two look like a couple. Your wife is a beautiful lady. I never saw her before. I didn't know you had a missus. Love it. Having my coffee and relax at perfect timing.
Face
pink
drinking tea. Love it.
I love when people say I didn't know you had a wife. Well, you don't think I can land a wife? Is that it? Is that what we're talking about here? You don't think this can seal the deal? Is that it? No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. Scotty with $5 super chat. At some point, we'll need the government to protect us from Soros types.
Yeah.
Just not yet. We can't be left exposed. Again, it's going to be very, very curious to see what happens when Trump comes to the G7. I'm curious to see what he has to say about Alberta. We know he's got a relationship with Danielle Smith. That may be the tide. Now, somebody sent me an article that I may cover in a video talking about how This isn't up to the feds, it's up to the United States on what happens to Alberta. Now, I don't believe that Alberta should become a 51st state.
No.
I think Alberta would do just fine on its own, doing deals with the United States, being its own republic. I think that is the best course for Alberta. It's not a slap at our American viewers or our American friends. I think there's a way we can all work together. And it's not that I don't want to be a part of America. I just think that when you trade one form of government for another, it spells bad news, because Donald Trump's not always going to be in the White House.
Nope.
At some point, a Democrat will probably come back in. Would spell more bad news for Alberta, especially given its oil industry.
Well, he can't run again. I know he thinks he wants to, but
what's Nelson yip yapping about?
Guess what? I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
More cowbell, guys. Drago with the $10 super chat. The APP did not file an application. Someone tried to file a different one to prevent APP from putting theirs in. Jeff Rath has their response on his X account. Well, let's take a look at that.
Yeah.
Let's pull that up. Just so everybody, thank you for letting me know with that super chat.
That's perfect.
Let's see what Jeff Rath has to say about this. Let's add Jeff to the stage. Welcome, Jeff. Breaking, Mitch Sylvester filed its independence referendum petition application Monday, Alberta at 3:30 p.m. May 23rd on behalf of APP. So I think what they're trying to do is beat them to the punch, because it was filed on behalf of the APP. He filed a placeholder independence referendum petition today. So I'm not sure if a placeholder kicks off the 120 days. I just posted a bunch of smaller videos for next week. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. If it's a placeholder, I'm curious what that means.
Yeah.
Let's read the comments. Let's see what the comments have to say. Eva Chipiak, of course, tweeting that out. The lowered threshold is now in effect. We're getting ready to sign for real soon. Still hoops to jump through, one step at a time. There is a plan,
okay,
says Jeffrey Rath. Okay, so we'll take that.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that doesn't mean the 120 days have started, or else they'd be saying, here, go here to sign.
Yeah.
This is what's
They'd want
happening.
to start that. Okay.
This is the right move considering the NDP's shenanigans. Jeffrey Rath with a smiley face. Good old smiley face. You guys really need to slow it down a bit. The support isn't there yet. We have one good shot at this. Let's organize petition, gain support. This will set us back years. Let's see the comments on that one. This is just the petition to hold a referendum. We have 120 days to collect signatures. At the end of August, it will be submitted for inspection and scrutinized, and that will take the minimum of 30 days. Let's hope to have the referendum ready for November civic elections. Somebody says still too fast. I agree. Again, this person does not necessarily mean that that's what's happening. Because Jeff's saying we still have hoops to jump through. I don't see them taking their time and saying there's hoops to jump through if it meant that the 120 days was triggered.
Yeah, why start it if you still have hoops?
I don't think that means it's triggered.
No, let's hope not.
Veronica says, Fringe, if he can get you on, please go to the meeting. PJ Belt has streamed some meetings. You could do that as well. Well, I asked them for their permission to do so. They told me they didn't want it, which I found not just insulting, but a little odd. That they would say, no, we just don't want the exact words. I don't want to show the email.
No.
Because I haven't told them I'm going to show that publicly, but I am quoting them verbatim when they said, we're trying to keep this meeting low key. They did say, reach out to this person. There are other events you could live stream and cover. And I said, well, I'm in Spruce Grove. I'm near Sherwood Park. I don't want to drive all over Alberta all the time. If it's just speech after speech after speech, I want to make sure that you guys actually want me there and you actually want to get the information out. I said at the very minimum, you should get APP to contact me and have them sit down on the show.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get them down here for a long time to talk about what's going on. Just said, no, reach out to these people. And again, I have no response as usual. I know others in the chat have said tonight they're going to reach out to them. So we'll see. I mean, I've mentioned to them that, hey, I know Keith Wilson. He can vouch for me. Jason Levine, I reached out to Jason Levine, who's supposed to be working alongside them, and said, I want to sit down and talk. Now, Jason knows who I am. And he says, well, we have to vet you before we'll sit down and tell you. What do you have to vet me for? I'm the Fringe. You don't have to vet me. I said, I've had the premier on my channel multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you understand how insulting that is. You have to vet me.
Do you know who I am?
Give me a break.
It's witching hour up there. I can hear them running around like little squirrels.
And this is it. Look, if you have rules, if you have ways of doing things, I'm not here to crap on that. I'm not kicking up dirt at people. It just it's as Hank says, it's kind of strange behavior on their part. And that's what it's vet me for an interview. They said they had to vet me for an interview. And what's funny is I said, but I know Keith. Like, why do you have to vet me? Well, they only want to talk to some people. They don't want any gotchas. They don't want any of this. But they're there to answer questions. Like, somebody please tell me what the hell we're arguing about here. Like, I just want some answers. 10% of the province watches this channel. I said, I'm doing everything I can to ensure that you guys are getting the information out for people who aren't sure if they want to put yes on a ballot. I'm trying to help you. We got to vet you. Vet these nuts. Discuss the Canadian $5 super chat. If Alberta doesn't separate, I think Derek will go on as animated as Steve Dangle, Leafs YouTuber. No. I will not get as animated as Steve Dangle.
Mrs. Fringe is a nobody.
It's Mr. Fringe's turn to say, do you know who I am? Look, I don't like pulling that card. I really don't want to pull that card because it's why vet when you're spreading truths? That's my question. I said to them, I said, look, other guys are covering this stuff. They're getting, and again, it's not clout. It's not a flex. But I said, there's other people talking about these topics with Alberta separation. They're getting 3,000, 8,000, 10,000 views. I'm getting 80 on average. 500,000 people in Alberta a month watch this channel. Those are your target audience. Like, if you want the word out, this is where to get it. At least it's a starting point. We'll put you on Moose of the Loose as well.
Yeah.
We'll get you on other big channels that can cover what you're doing. The small time stuff. Come on. Yeah, people are giving their opinions about Jason Levine. I have no problem with Jason Levine. I've been on some panels with him. Do I know him very well? No, I'd say we're more acquaintances than anything. But I've never had an issue with the guy. But I just found it funny that when I reached out to him and said, hey, Jason, can you put me in touch with these guys? He said, I'll come on for an interview. Well, nobody on, and I said to Jason, please don't take offense to this, but my channel doesn't know who you are. They want to talk to Jeffrey Rath. They want to talk to the guys who are in charge of the APP. And he says, well, I don't really take offense, but those guys have to vet people. What? You're trying to convince Albertans to sign a ballot. Jay Peterson with $5 super chat. I completely agree. I love Americans. I don't want to trade one big central government for another one. No. We can do this on our own. Yes. Yes. Oh, people are laughing at the D's nuts comment. Take them on a trip to Sagan. Sagan D's nuts. You figure they'd want the information out on all their channels possible to get the correct information to everybody. Well, that's why I'm so wrapped up in this and so animated, as it said, because I just don't get it. You're giving them a golden platter and saying, guys, I'm here. Use this channel as your platform, as well as others, and I'll help constitute that into play. I'll help get it arranged. Like, I'll use whatever connections I have to reach out and get other channels involved. Let's make this grassroots. Well, we got to vet people. We don't know if we. Come on. Look, I'm not angry with APP. Again, if APP sees this, I'm not trying to pick a fight.
No, but.
Or be a jerk. But I'm trying to say, like, it just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense.
Explain it so it makes sense. Help me, help you, help me.
Help me, help you. Help me, help you. Help me. Help you. Common sense isn't common, it would appear.
No.
I think they worry about...
common sense went out the window a long time ago.
You know what? I don't even want to speak on their behalf. I don't want to say... Like, again, I don't have a problem with Rath. I don't have a problem with Keith Wilson. I don't have a problem with any of those guys. I think they're doing God's work by pushing for a vote. I said, I'm towing the line here for you guys, just like I did for Pierre. I'm towing the line saying, let's go. Let's get going. Let's get numbers. Let's get people moving. Nobody wants to. Why? Surely I can't be hated that much.
Wow.
I mean, I get that I piss people off from time to time. Can't be hated that much. Host the debates. That would be great.
That'd be fun.
Oilers 3-0. Are the Oilers winning 3-0?
That's crazy. Good. They got their asses in gear.
Oh, Oilers 3-4 now. Holy crap. Wow.
That's
when did he ever, are you talking about me? When did he ever have the premier on the channel full of crap? I've had Danielle Smith on this channel multiple times. If that's what we're talking about. If he's asking the audience, when did I have the premier on? I've had Danielle on this channel many times.
Yeah. She loves coming back.
Oh, it's still 3-0, says Luca. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you'd have to go back in my history. You'll see Danielle's interviews. Stop bragging and lying about who you know. Go look at my video history. Can somebody do something about this troll? Come on. Stop bragging about who you know. If I was really going to brag, I'd start bringing out Jordan Peterson and other people. Like, when? Go. Can somebody please vouch in the chat that you've seen my interviews with Danielle? Because I'm not going to go back in my video history. Come on. Oh, don't feed the trolls. Just let's get into Q&A.
Yeah.
Let's do Q&A.
Kids are destroying the house.
Derek's famous, for fuck's sakes. I like this one. I like that one. No, I'm not famous.
No.
Somebody says, I've seen the interviews. There we go. CB says, yes. Yeah, come on. Give me a break. Go drink your soy. Let's get some questions.
There we go.
I saw APC. Are the APC charging for tickets? Sorry, I'm behind. And maybe why they don't want you live streaming. I'm not talking about or APP. No, they're not charging for tickets.
Yeah, you just need to RSVP.
You have to RSVP so they have room for people in there. It has nothing to, no, they told me that they specifically said we don't want you live streaming because somebody's doing it on Rumble that I don't think
that's
like
exclusive
or something, and it's a very small channel.
Yeah.
But so I don't know if they have like an agreement in place or something, but they also said we're trying to keep it low key. Those were their words. Jason says, yes, you have had Danielle on. Great questions. Thank you. Try to discredit me on my own channel. My God.
You're missing questions.
Why does Batman wear his undies on the outside? They all do.
All of them.
It's not just
Flash, Aquaman, they all do.
They all do. I had to get to a fun question for starters. Get away the negativity. Roadhouse.
Maybe it feels good.
Troll's weaknesses are so funny. The best part is that they're completely obvious.
Yes.
Yeah. Troll with some style. Master of Snatch could give them a lesson in trolling. That guy's the master of trolling. He's master of trolling. Discussing Canadian $5 super chat. Book idea. Country is ruining my life instead of Steve Dangle's.
This team is ruining my life.
This team is ruining my life. Maybe. I watch your shows all the time, but I've never seen Smith, but I'll check out. I want to see them. So keep in mind that when you check them out, I haven't had Danielle on the channel in about a year. So they're not as fluent with the speaking and talking points as I have right now. This is experience.
No, I mean, the last one you had with her was really good.
I had a good interview the last time. First one, maybe not so great. Where'd the Proton Pack get moved to?
It's in the games room.
It's in my arcade. There's only so much room on the set.
It's not undies. It's a cod piece.
You know what's funny was when we saw Jordan Peterson last time, because I'm not gonna shut up about the people I know. I said, listen, I'm sick and tired of arguing with your people to get you on my channel, Jordan. When are you coming on? And he did have a good laugh. And he says, keep twisting their arm. He says, I will come on as soon as they free up my schedule and I can come on. I'd love to get Jordan on the channel. He's amazing. And we have a good time every time we're around him. He's great. His wife's great. Love Jordan.
We got to meet his brother last time too.
Met his brother.
Yeah.
Very nice man. Yeah, absolutely. You need more Transformers. I have a lot of Transformers. I just don't have them on the set. I'm going to get a G1 Megatron at some point. That's my next one on my...
Don't give him
That's not a request. That's...
Don't give him an idea on something else to collect.
I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have said it.
Really, he needs less toys.
Do you ever go out and use pew-pews at the range? I'm not allowed.
No, I never said you're not allowed.
Mrs.
You're not
Fringe,
allowed to own one. You're allowed
I'll
to go
want
and
to
play.
buy one if I go.
Go play.
I used to go to the range. I haven't been to the range in a while.
Yeah.
Mrs. Fringe has this thing against pew-pews. She says, I don't want them in my house. I don't want them near our family. I don't want anything going on.
I know my children.
Even
trust
if you
me.
have a retina scan safe and everything is secured and rubber bullets, nope, don't want it.
The boys will find a way to get into it 100%.
How can you not have a Megatron? Have you seen the
I
price of
know.
those things? A G1 Megatron is like $800. It's not that I can't afford one. I just don't want to spend that kind of money.
There you go.
That's ridiculous.
Knight Falima says you can't even own a pew pew in Canada, which is true.
And that's
We're
part of the
just-
reason. That is the reason I don't have a Generation 1 Megatron, because he turns into a handgun. Carnage Carney, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. What's on top of the Dragon's Lair with the Canadian flag? Oh, that's a
cowbell.
Guys, it's a cowbell.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Jason saying, let's get the studio to the games room. Listen, I'll do a video of the games room. I'll bring it in on the stream for
You've
a Q&A.
done a video last week. You showed.
I showed shots. I showed pictures. I'll do a video of the game room for Jason, for anybody who wants to see it. Tiffany got a little offended by Mike.
I know.
Tiff sounds like a Torontonian liberal.
Come on.
It's a joke. Mike's a good guy. Don't.
Come on.
Don't.
He'll get stink eye.
I see OAO asking silly questions. I'm not even gonna get to that. Derek and Tiffany, did you know that Carney took a raise April 1st of $420,000 a year? That's $35,000 a month,
Wouldn't that be nice?
and he doesn't have to pay taxes because they're in Bermuda. Isn't that great?
Yeah. Isn't that lovely? He doesn't have to pay taxes in his own country.
Vox Guitars Rocks. My wife and I met on the range. That is, oh my God, that's awesome. That is awesome. Did you ever own a Voltron? I never got into Voltron until I was older. Growing up in Winnipeg, so my father, I sound like the Joker there. My father, he had, back in the day, he always made sure, because his sports were important to him.
Yes, they still are.
We had cable TV. A lot of people didn't have cable in the 80s. But we had like Super Channel, all the movie channels, things like that. But they didn't have a lot of anime and things like that on there. So I never saw Voltron until I was older. I seen it in stores. I knew about it, but I just didn't know much about it. So no, I never had a Voltron. Scotty saying Iron Man heart. Oh no, that's the arc reactor up here. That's proof Tony Stark has a heart.
That's what he said. Iron Man heart. Yes.
Yes, that is it. That is what that is.
Why are you explaining it? Yes, it is.
You can get one with the G1 similar design. Yes, but it has an orange tab on the end of it, and I'm fussy. I want the real deal.
Not the real deal. Not the 80s version.
I want the real deal. God, everybody's talking Transformers. You guys, see, here's the thing. I make all these political videos, and then you guys start talking nerd stuff, and it's like, God, why am I not talking like nerd things, toys, and entertainment?
Idea
maybe we start.
This man really is.
Maybe we start a second channel. You guys like that, where we talk about games, entertainment, movies, that kind of stuff.
You are such a nerd, and especially when it comes to Nintendo games, you have so much knowledge in your head. It's crazy.
Maybe we start another channel. That would be fun. David Brewer, $2 super chat. Have you seen Thunderbolts yet? I saw Thunderbolts last night.
Yes.
We download copy of movie and watch on
Group
television.
Hug was my favorite.
It was a good movie. I'll actually give it that. It was actually a pretty good movie.
It wasn't bad.
I didn't have high expectations for it. It was pretty decent. Discussing Canadian $2 super chat. One of my favorite 80 cartoons was Cops. Cops was awesome.
Yes. Nothing beat that show.
That dude with the grappling hook arm, it was awesome. I can't remember his name because it was so long ago. Do you have an Intellivision? I do. I have an Intellivision, a ColecoVision. I've got an Atari 2600. I've got a Sega SG-1. I've got Sega Master System. What else? Nintendo GameCube.
That's mine.
Virtual Boy. I've got Nintendo, Super Nintendo. I've got just about everything. In
What's
fact,
the triangle one?
that is a Coleco Telstar arcade, which is a Pong system that looks like a triangle. I have a lot of stuff.
You do.
Less than 5 minutes to go in the third. Oilers 3-0. There we go. Go Oilers.
Nerd. Yes.
let's get caught up in the stream. Smokeless Choice, $2 super chat. What do you think about the 1980 movie Flash Gordon? Oh my god! Oh my god! It's Flash Gordon.
I think I watched it first time like last year, right?
Yeah, Flash was good. Do you have a power glove? Yes.
The wife made him buy it because.
And it's so bad. I miss Gargoyles too.
Oh, that was a good show too.
I miss Gargoyles as well. Somebody saying good idea. Somebody wants the second channel. You guys want a second channel?
We'll see.
You guys want a second channel with nerd stuff? Sound off in the chat if you want a nerd channel. Jason P. Dukes of Hazzard rules. I never got around to Dukes of Hazzard because I was born.
Good.
I was born in 1980. I wasn't old enough to appreciate.
You watch
Dukes
old shows?
Do you have a Jaguar or 3DO? I have both. In fact, I have a complete 3DO collection. Every game, North American Library. Love the 3DO. I'm a nerd. People saying yes. Memes channel. We can't have a meme channel. Get a games channel. I love video games. Yes, nerd channel. There we go. Okay, great. We'll start a second channel.
Video game memes you could do.
Disgusted Canadian, $2 super chat. That character on Cops was Long Arm. That's it.
There you go.
That's it. Pale Pinkish Humanoid, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, guys. The ZX Spectrum, I do have one of those as well. As well as an Odyssey, a Magnavox Odyssey with the gun that looks like a giant rifle. I got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. God, now I just sound like an absolute nerd. Guys, I've lost almost 600 viewers talking nerd stuff.
Oh, it's horrible.
The stream's on its way out the window. We got to end it up. We got to wrap at some point. We're way over time limit. I want to thank everybody. Did you guys enjoy the mics? Is this better than sharing a microphone? Are you guys enjoying the wireless? I think we got to stick with this. I think this is a good thing for live streams.
Yeah, I think it works good.
Thank you to everybody who came out tonight. Thank you to everybody who joined us in the live stream. Mrs. Fringe should do a cooking channel. Oh, nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. The mics are better. Hey, then they'll stay. Then this will be a permanent.
I could do a baking channel.
This will be a permanent solution on the channel. Then we actually bought these mics like an hour before the stream. So
we're glad they were.
I'm glad they worked out. I'm glad you guys were happy with them. I'm glad you guys came out tonight. Keep your eyes peeled this weekend, folks. Unbelievable
shows this weekend.
Unbelievable videos. A new scandal with Justin Trudeau. Believe it or not, he's come back. There's a new scandal coming out, and it's big. It's like gonna hurt you in the wallet big. So make sure you check out the channel this weekend. I can't spoil it beyond that because I've put way too much into that video. Have a good weekend.
Yes.
Go Oilers. Hope you guys keep your stick on the ice. Look after each other. From myself, from Mrs. Fringe, and also thank you to everybody who super chatted tonight. Again, just a reminder, I do not answer my emails anymore. I occasionally will be going through them.
Alex will be taking care
Alex
of
will be
emails.
taking care of those. Welcome to the Unacceptable Fringe team, to Alex. Please send me your emails. If I don't get to them, I will eventually, hopefully. Have yourselves a great night. Look after each other.
Take care.
This is Fringe and I. We'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one, folks. Take care.